Alright, let's talk about the elephant in the room. So for those of you who didn't see, James Gunn came out this morning and he released a video telling us the 8 to 10 year plan of the DC universe. It's not all the movies that are coming out, but it's a lot of the movies that are coming out. Everything I'm about to say hinges on the fact that you've already seen that, so, just hop over to the DC, TikTok account and check it out. Seen it? Great? Good. In theory, that sounds great. It's a great slate of movies. It's a great slate of characters to start it off with. I really like the fact that we're getting a Robin. Kind of confused why it's Damian, but still, this is a pretty good set of movies. A couple of the projects I'm a little confused on. I'm confused how Authority is like phase fucking 1 of the DCU, and I'm a little confused about how a Waller TV show is going to work out, but in theory, this all sounds great. But a word of caution to all DC fans. Let's hold out the hype train, okay? Listen, I'm excited for a Batman movie with Robin in it. I'm excited for a Booster Gold TV show. I can understand that some people would maybe be excited about a Green Lantern show. But let's just hold out judgment, because we've been promised a lot before. And I'm not saying that this new team is going to be the same as the old team was. I'm just saying, think about even when Marvel first started and they started announcing their huge slates of movies they were going to be coming out with. Some of them shits didn't get made. At all. Remember Captain America and the Serpent Society? Neither do I. Listen, a lot of these are probably gonna get made. I'm not saying that they're not. I'm just saying maybe try and hold out hype until we get, trailers for some of these things. And to the other side of the spectrum, the people that are saying, I don't want to watch these, I don't trust the creative teams, I don't like this. Why would you be excited about this? Fucking chill, okay? We have yet to see what it turns out. Let's see what a couple of the movies look like until we start passing judgments. There's a potential that this is going to be great. There's a potential that a lot of these will be shit. Either way, let's wait and see. Oh, and a special little message for the Snyder Bros in the audience saying just bring back the Snyder universe. Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. It's a real simple concept. Just shut the fuck up. It's not going to get sold to Netflix. That's not how licensing rights work. Shut the fuck up. Batman was a murderer, Superman was depressed, and Wonder Woman was, fine, I guess. Those movies still exist. You can watch them if you want to. If that's your universe, all the power to you. But just do it silently, over there. Don't be criticizing the new universe because it's not like the old one, because the old one was not what DC is like. Alright, we good? Expectations tempered? Snyder Bros fucking silenced? Awesome. Let's get excited for the new universe. I can't wait to see what they come up with, and I'm gonna forget about it until I see a trailer. Okay, so me and Scarlett were sitting and watching TikToks together, and this video came up. By the way, if you haven't watched the original video, essentially, Bruce and Alfred are sitting there, and Alfred comes up and says that it's Jason's birthday, and Bruce completely neglects it, says, send him flowers or something, who gives a shit? Which obviously disturbs Alfred. Bruce asks, that was somebody important, wasn't it? Alfred says, yeah, what have you done with my son? Now, when Scarlett watched that, she saw exactly what the caption makes that out to be. That is an imposter who has taken Bruce's place. Which is why Alfred says, what have you done with my son? Because it's implying that there's an imposter where Bruce is, and that was the cue in to say that that's not fucking Bruce. But when I watched it, I think I had a much sadder take on that video. However, I also think that my take is in keeping with Bruce's character. When I watched that video, I saw Alfred go up to Bruce and say, it's Jason's birthday. And Bruce, so enveloped in his work, so dedicated to the mission, doesn't even hear him. He just hears it's someone's birthday, which makes him brush it aside and say, just send him flowers, I don't fucking care. Which shocks Alfred to this extreme extent, because how dare you even be so enveloped in your work that you can't remember the boy that was your son? Which is why he says, what have you done with my son? It's not Alfred asking that like a threat, like, where the fuck is Bruce? It's Alfred asking that because he is confused when Bruce was consumed by the Batman. And I don't know. I think that really speaks to the differences that people can have when they take the subtlety of storytelling into effect. Because I think that video is really good. I think that concept is really good. Either one of those concepts is really fucking good. Props to the creator. I think it's really cool to be able to see the difference between two people who are very enveloped in the same character reading a situation completely differently. So storytellers out there, just know you could spell out a story as much as possible. You can think it is crystal clear what you are trying to say, and there will still be multiple different interpretations that are all equally valid. It's like I like to say, everybody's got their own canon. Alright, y'all have a nice night. I'm gonna get back to ignoring my fucking schedule. Do I see the irony in making a post about how I'm going to start posting every day and then immediately fucking missing a day immediately after that? Yes, but it's funny, damn it, and I'm here now. Some shit came up. It's just bad fucking timing, as usual. And personally, I think it's time that we return to form. So welcome back to Regrettable Superhero of however the fuck long it's been, where I pick one character at random out of the League of Regrettable Superheroes and then run him the fuck down. I only just realized today that I have not been saving this list as I've been doing it, so there's a ton of people on this list that definitely shouldn't be here. So we're just gonna work through it. We're gonna find it. But with all that said, let's see who we are going to get today. Give me someone new, I'm begging you. Amazing Man! That sounds like a fairly normal superhero. I stand corrected, that's just old school Namor. Bill Everett? Apparently this guy doesn't just look like Namor, he was made by the same guy who made Namor. I swear to fucking God, first the guy who made Captain Marvel and now you? Come on, man! If you can fly and breathe underwater, I swear to God. Okay, now staying corrected, this dude's not a Namor ripoff, he's a Superman ripoff. Kinda, a little bit. He's a character akin to Superman. John Amon, or Amazing Man, was created by Bill Everett in Amazing Comics number 5. Don't ask me how he premiered in the 5th issue of his own comic series, I don't know. Created by Centaur Publications in September of 1939. Being raised for 25 years in a mysterious lamasery, being raised for 25 years in a mysterious monastery. Why the fuck did you choose that word? John graduates in a ceremony that proves his ultra manhood. That would be a direct quote. He is offered 7 deadly challenges by the Council of the Seven, all of which he passes, some of which include killing a venomous snake with his bare teeth while his hands and legs are bound behind him, having a knife-throwing inquisitor named Lady Xena the Knife Thrower fill him full of fucking knives, and having to turn into a cloud of green mist, you know, that thing every man can do! Sorry fellas, I'm just revealing all of our secrets out here. All my trans friends were fucking baffled when they all of a sudden burst into a cloud of fucking lime Doritos. I had to explain to them that that's just a thing that you get when you pass your test of ultra manhood! He apparently had his own comic for about 22 issues and then entered the public domain, and has been picked up by 4 different comics companies since then. Those being Malibu, Dynamite, DC, and Marvel. Apparently the character never really caught on just because this was around the time that fucking Superman came out and every comics publisher tried to copy that, so he was just drowned out by the competition. I would say this dude deserves a new lease on life, but he's in the public domain now, and every comics publisher under the sun has basically given him a second chance, and it just hasn't really worked. But I don't know if I would call him regrettable. I mean, I still think that he has a chance. Panda seal of ultra manhood! Okay. So, it's Monday the 23rd. What the hell was this? I saw a couple people theorizing that it meant that I was going to start streaming again, but it is currently 3 p.m. and that didn't fucking happen. So what the hell was I talking about when I said I was going to be doing this full time? Well, now that I finally have my setup, now that I finally have my computer actually set up and I have everything running decently okay, still working on the internet connection, streaming might take a little bit longer than I hope it will, I have implemented a new plan. Because previously I was doing this full-time by streaming twice a week, I put out a compilation a month, and then I put out one of these mostly every day discarding weekend. However, then I took a 2-month, essentially, hiatus as I moved fucking house, where I put out like a video a fucking week, and I didn't put out any compilations on YouTube at all. And I didn't like that, so I've implemented a new plan. When I say that I am doing this full-time starting today, here is exactly what I mean. The new plan is this. I am going to be putting out at least 1 TikTok a day. I am going to be streaming 4 out of 7 days of the week, those being Tuesday to Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, assuming that everything works out the way that I want it to. I'm going to be putting out at least 1 YouTube video a month, those probably being the compilations. I am going to be putting out something special that I'm not really going to tell you guys yet because it's not done. Patreon, however, you guys might be able to get a special sneak peek really soon, so but that is also going to be happening once a month on YouTube. And finally, I am going to be revitalizing my merch store. That, however, is not going to happen exactly today. That is going to happen in 2 weeks. And when I say revitalizing, I mean scorching the fucking earth. I'm going to be keeping the Panda logo shirts, the Goonion shirts, and the Robin Zero Bomb 1 shirts, and everything else is fucking going. Y'all are gonna have until February 3rd to be able to get those, and then I'm gonna delete them forever. Luckily, there's a 30% discount that will go until that day, and after that merch is gone, I'm going to be replacing it with different stuff. So, TLDR of this entire situation. I'm going to be posting a TikTok a day. I'm going to be posting a YouTube compilation a month. I'm going to be streaming 4 times a week, assuming that I can get my internet to work soon-ish. I am going to be doing another YouTube-related project once a month. I'm going to be doing more Patreon stuff, and I'm revitalizing the merch store. That's what I mean by this is going full-time, baby. I hope you guys are going to enjoy the content that starts coming out. I hope you guys enjoy the merch while it still exists, by the way, link in the thing. And I hope that all my patrons like what I have prepared for them, because honestly, I can't wait to see how people react to this. Alright, welcome to the next fucking level. Let's get this shit. So I have a question for all of you. I feel like this is a question that gets answered in comics in like 1,000 different ways that everyone has a different answer for. What is your personal reason that Batman has a hole in his mask? In the comics, it's been answered in 1,000 ways. It's to make him look more human. Sometimes it's because he wants to mock people like the Joker. Sometimes it's just because that's how the mask that he was wearing looked. Sometimes it's because when he first went out, he was wearing a ski mask, and it was kind of indicative of that. But I feel like everybody has a different answer if you ask them directly. I know personally, I think that he does it because of something that happened during training. I think that Batman, being a ninja, inevitably at some point probably wore a full-face mask. And I also think that being trained by the world's greatest assassins, they probably pushed him into water at some point and damn near drowned the guy, forcing him to cut open the mask and making him think, God damn it, I'm going to be doing this in a city that's right next to a giant harbor that is a bunch of smuggling. I should probably not wear a mask that covers up my face. It could potentially waterboard me. And then eventually those reasons changed over the years to making him look more human, so when he had Robin, he wouldn't scare the hell out of him. Also opening up the airways for like rebreathers and such, because Scarecrow's an asshole. But I also feel like this isn't the only answer. I'd love to hear what your guys' answer is. I asked Scarlett what her reason was, and it was completely different than mine. So I'm fascinated to know what your guys' are. So just video and let me know. Spider-Man is supposed to be unsettling. Modern interpretations of Spider-Man, from movies to games to comics, really any interpretation in the modern age, show Spider-Man as more of a humorous, kind of child-friendly character. And 100% admitted that kind of is where he is right now. In sort of a similar fashion to how Jason Todd initially showed up as a criminal, whose entire goal was to control crime to eventually reduce it to a point of non-existence, to essentially a lethal vigilante. Or not lethal anymore, I'm not sure if he's using guns in the comics anymore. Now, anyway, Spider-Man did not initially start out in his sort of humorous, child-friendly role as he is now. Yes, he's always been intended to be relatable. He's always been intended to be the character that the readers can relate to. Be that a high school student, a college student, a married father of 2, really anybody. It's the whole point of the mask, as Stan Lee said. Anybody can be under it. However, that's the thing. Spider-Man started out unsettling. And I'm talking about the actual persona of Spider-Man himself. The costume, the movements, the artist that originally created Spider-Man with Stan Lee, all of it was manufactured for Spider-Man to be a little fucking freaky. When Stan Lee originally created Spider-Man, he was turned away mostly because nobody fucking likes spiders. Steve Ditko, the artist that worked with him to create Spider-Man, was like a king of horror comics. These were the sorts of poses that Spider-Man initially showed up in. Gangly, freaky, the dude's climbing on the walls and he's stick fucking thin with giant white eyes. That's creepy. And I will fully admit, Spider-Man did not stay in this role for very long, maybe like 2 or 3 issues. Steve Ditko ended up bulking him up a little bit. Like, honestly, this is like Amazing Fantasy number 15 and like maybe the first couple of issues of Spider-Man. And that part of the character is usually forgotten about. And I mean, for good reason. Spider-Man's like the most marketable superhero that Marvel has. He was like their big guy until the MCU. And I mean, even after that, Spider-Man's so marketable that Sony has created an entire universe based solely on his villains. So it's understandable that this freaky sort of off-putting nature to him gets kind of tossed by the wayside. But then it shows up sometimes. Amazing Spider-Man has Spider-Man be this sort of creepy looking dude. Spider-Man PS4 has a moment where he scares the shit out of a guy just by crawling up to him and getting in his face. People don't realize that if you are a criminal and a dude crawled up the fucking wall and stared at you from the corner from eyes that are way too fucking big, you'd be scared. And I think it's a part of the character that should be emphasized a little bit more. I think it's a really cool part of the character that gets forgotten about.